Hello my friends, it is time for a journaling video. Wow. These are all of the journals that I have personally completed since June of 2019. That's a lot. This is a lot of notebooks, but I love each and every one of them for what they mean to me and for all of the words and experiences and thoughts and memories that each one of these hold. This was my very first real journal that I wrote in and continued to write in. And I started this journal in June of 2019 and I finished it in March of 2020. So this journal is, okay, there's stuff coming out everywhere. This journal was my first introduction to real journaling, to long form journaling. I would like to share with you about my journaling experience, and then at the very end I'm going to give you my top 10 tips for brand new journalers if you are just starting out and you are journaling to help with your mental health. If you're new here, my name is Claire, and this is my little creative space here on YouTube where I like to share videos about knitting and journaling and fountain pens and Bible journaling. It's a space where I just feel like I can share all about my different hobbies and creative passions and my tools to keep me sane. And if that seems like something you might be interested in, I would hope that you would stick around and join me for this video. And if you like what you see, please give me a thumbs up at the very end. And if you would like to see more videos from me, please be sure to subscribe. I would really appreciate. In the comments below, if you are already a journaler, if you could give one important tip to a brand new journaler, I would love for you to leave it down below so that new journalers can not only get, the information and the help that I hope to give from this video to them, but also from other seasoned journalers as well. I think that would be really, really special. This notebook right here was my very first real journaling commitment that I made to myself back in June of 2019. As I'm sitting here turning the pages and sort of skimming over my writing, it's fun because I see where I was journaling before in regular old, big crystal pens. And then throughout here, I see me moving to fountain pen, and I see my very first ink that I purchased. And my first few pages in here, I am basically talking about, wow, I was writing really, really small, huh? I was basically talking about moving back into a new journal. My first attempt at journaling was when I was in high school, and I actually did complete a journal, but it took a long time. And at some point as an adult, I threw it away and I regret it. Then I'm talking about in here how my therapist and my psychiatrist both suggested long form journaling as a way to help me deal with my mental illness. And I talk about how I really don't think it'll help, that I feel like I'm too far gone, I have some writing prompts that I wrote in here and different little things that I put in here to help remind me different habits to help boost my moods. Just lots of different, brand new for journaling. So my first journal was a brand new experience for me. It was my foray into the world of stream of conscious journaling. And stream of conscious journaling, if you're not aware of that, is basically where whatever is going through your head, no matter what it is, that's exactly what you write. And you write fast because you have to keep up with your brain. And my brain goes super fast. I go from one thought to the next, like someone who's just scrolling through, Instagram stories or TikToks, and they're bored, and so they're just skimming through, not even, watching the entire video. And before you finish 2-3 seconds of one video, you're off to the next. That's how my brain works. And so this was the first time that I really tried to understand that about myself and try to use tools that I was told about from my psychiatrist and therapist. And also I started researching journaling and the effects that it can have on people who are trying to work on themselves, but also specifically for people who struggle with severe mental illness such as I do. So like I said, I bought that B6 and I primarily focused on stream of consciousness journaling and brain dumps. Everything that possibly came into my head, I put it on the page, good or bad. There are a lot of things in my journals that I would be incredibly embarrassed for someone to come behind me and read. Now, I do journal flip-throughs, but my flip-throughs are pretty good about marking off certain pages, things that would severely embarrass me. But otherwise, I don't censor my journals because I feel like as a journaler, we have, those of us who are on YouTube, we have this amazing platform to help new journalers learn and to help them see that your journaling doesn't have to be trendy and aesthetic, and you don't need all of the stickers and 75 different Tombow brush pens, and you don't need all of these really expensive tools to be able to journal effectively. With all of these different journals, there are many journals that I used where there were brands that I used over and over again because I really enjoyed them. But the biggest focus of choosing all of these different journals was because I really wanted to find the ultimate journal. I wanted to find a journal that ticked all of my boxes. And for me, my boxes needed it to be the perfect size, the perfect paper, the perfect tooth of the paper, the perfect line spacing, the perfect exterior. I needed it to have an elastic to keep it closed. I really don't care too much about the bookmarks, but a bookmark was nice. So my first year or so of journaling was really trying all the things that I could within my budget. So I tried different methods of journaling and different techniques. Tried bullet journaling for quite some time and I got very creative with it, but in the end I found that it didn't work for me. I tried art journaling where I was using paints and primarily watercolors, and I was sketching, and while I really enjoyed it, I found that the art itself wasn't really helping me as far as introspectively. It was fun and it was a release, but I need my journaling to do its job, if that makes sense. So I tried making also gratitude lists. I have a prayer journal, things of that nature. Anything that were techniques that I learned about that I could try in my first year or two of journaling were techniques that I tried, because this was all new to me. And I could feel that every day that I had spent time journaling, I felt better the next day, except on the days where I didn't. I started keeping not only a journal for my mental health, but I started keeping a Commonplace journal. And this was a journal that I wrote in all of the different things that I was teaching myself. Important quotes that I wanted to remind myself about, lists that I thought were important, including recycling lists by number and what they meant. And it's actually something that I remember. Notes on different podcasts that I watched, things of that nature. I would also take classes online for different things, and I would take notes on the classes and things that I was learning. I filled this up, and then I had moved on to another. However, this time, this is my current Commonplace, and I've been in this one for a while. And in this Commonplace notebook, I've been teaching myself and learning physics, theoretical physics, not practical, manipulative physics. I don't have the mind for numbers, but the theory of physics I find incredibly interesting, and it's something that I always wanted to learn, but it was something that I found very difficult to learn. I am not the sharpest tool in the shed. I wish I were. I wish I had the kind of ADHD and mental illness that made me a savant, but I don't. I am painfully mediocre, but I want to learn more, and I strive to be an autodidact. So I strive to teach myself and to learn from the resources that I have available to us. And face it, we have smartphones. We have every single scrap of human knowledge available to us on our phone, and I just want to consume that knowledge. There's things that I want to learn. So many different things that I learn. I even have lists in here of different things that I want to spend time learning. So that's another type of journaling, Commonplace. I also have a journal that I keep next to me in bed at night while I sleep. This is weird. I know it sounds weird. I keep next to me with a pencil, and it's tucked in to the next clean page. When I sleep at night, I struggle with sleep. I struggle severely. I have very severe insomnia. My brain doesn't allow me to fall asleep on its own. I've done years and years of CBT training. I've tried melatonin. I've tried all the different, tools and techniques and self-care things that you can use to prepare yourself for sleep at the end of a long day. My brain doesn't shut up. My body will be very tired, but my brain doesn't shut up. So when I finally take my sleeping medication and I go to sleep, when I'm dreaming, I'm aware of that I'm dreaming. And sometimes in my dreams, I'll just recite beautiful poetry, and poetry that I know I'll forget in the morning. So while I'm asleep, my eyes are closed. I know where my notebook is right next to me, and it's already opened with my pencil on the next page, and I write down what in my dream that I wanted to write down. I have really great ideas when I'm dreaming too, and I've also had some really incredible dreams that I feel like have meaning to them. And so in the morning when I wake up, while I'm still groggy, I will reach over, and I like having a big notebook for it because I'll reach over and I won't even open my eyes. I'll just start writing. It's not on the lines, it's wherever I write, but as long as I can get it out and get it down. So that's this sleeping journal. Another type of journal I use is called my One Day, the One Book to Rule Them All. This is something I haven't talked about very often, or maybe even much at all, but I am also writing a novel. I am on my second edit of my very first debut novel that has to deal with mental illness. What do you know? And I'm currently making my second edit. So I have my novel printed out and bound, and inside I have edits that I need to make, and I will be doing rewrites and making those edits and adding more. And you know, just because a good novel is not just written, it's rewritten and rewritten. So I'm working on that, and I've been working on that for a couple years now. And this notebook right here is all the ideas and notes that I have for my next novels. There's a lot. And so these are just notes of information and notes for different, I also have YouTube notes in here, and notes for writing, and each different novel idea has its own sticky note or sticky tab and section. And when I need more space for specific ideas for a specific novel, I come back in here to the very back. Well, this is just another one that I'm working on, but I come here to the very back when there's empty paper, and then I slit right along the lines, and I just pull it out and then put it where it needs to go. But so this is another example of the kind of journals that I keep. This is my one book to rule them all. Something I've also learned about myself is that with my journals, I like to have them in a leather cover because I take my journals with me everywhere. If I go into the next room, my journal and my pen case is with me, my currently inked pens. If I leave the house and go somewhere else, my journal and my pen case are in my bag. So I always have to make sure I have a bag that's big enough. But my journal gets tossed and goes everywhere with me. So it's important for me to have a leather cover that I can beat up that's going to protect my journal and also keep all the little bits and bobs of stuff that I want to be able to tuck inside my journal as well. This is the journal that I just finished, which I will do a flip through and review here within the next day or so. But this is actually a Galen leather zip folio that I cut the zipper out of, and I poked a hole here for an elastic, and I sort of made it into a TN. I've already taken out all of my papers and bits and bobs, and all that's left now is just my completed journal. So the journal I'm currently in, I have in this really beautiful chic sparrow that was gifted to me. I don't remember the color name of this leather, but it's older and I love it. I love chic sparrows. I don't have a collection. I used to, but not anymore. I love the ones that I have, and I use them. Like they're not beautiful and pristine. They are beat up. This one gets, I guess, particularly beat up because out of all of the A5 covers that I have, which I think I only have 4, this is the one I use the most because I really and truly love the feel of this leather. So inside here is pockets. I've got stuff in there. I also like to keep my current pen and ink log in the same traveler's notebook, in the same leather cover as my current journal. I'm currently currently in an A5 Stalogy that was also gifted to me, and just reminds me, this A5 Stalogy is actually what encouraged me or inspired me to do this video right now, because my first ever journal was a Stalogy. There's a lot in here. I also have a little baggie. This is Specialist Expert equipment here, but a little sandwich baggie full of little pictures that I print off that I like to put on my pages whenever I feel like I need some inspiration. So that's my current journal and my previous journal. And so now I want to talk a little bit more about the importance of journaling, and then I want to give you my top 10 tips. When we journal, every day that you grab your pen and you put it to your page, you are learning more and more and more about yourself than you could ever think possible. And when you look back on previous filled journals or previous pages in your current journal, you can really reflect on and see patterns in your writing, especially if you're writing stream of conscious and you are journaling about the experiences that you've had during that day, or your emotions that you've felt, mood shifts and changes, and you can find things that trigger those type of changes in yourself. And over time, you can identify different strategies that help you to process those emotions and those triggers and help you to cope. And so that's something that's very important to me about my journals as well, is that through each one of my journals that I've filled, I've come to know myself even better than I ever thought possible. That I am not this wholesome, wonderful person that I would like to be. And so journaling is also a way of self-reflection and also self-actuation, and through different journaling prompts that can help you to really see yourself the way we should see ourselves, you can learn to make changes to help you become that person that you want to be. And so that's where a lot of my journaling, I still write stream of conscious, like pages and pages and pages, but I try to take time, and in between I try to make a portion of what I write about now positive. I try to tell myself, okay, this is what you've noticed about yourself, so this is what we can do in the future to head this off before it gets worse. So even though I see a psychiatrist and I see a therapist, my journals have become also a therapist for me. And that's invaluable. Absolutely invaluable. The first tip I want to give you is to start simple. You don't need the perfect notebook or fancy pens. Just start writing. It could be a spiral notebook from Walmart, a stenographer's notepad, or even just simply plain printer paper folded into a mini book. Any size, any paper, any pen. Just start. Don't forget to date your entries. Number 2 would be to be totally honest. Your journal is a safe space. Don't censor yourself. You can't learn about yourself through introspection if you aren't honest with yourself. If you curse, then curse. If you are crass, then be crass. If you want to change these things and other things about yourself, then be honest and use each page to work towards the you that you want to become. The third thing is experiment. Try different journals and different journaling styles. Try different pens and different supplies to see if you can find what resonates with you. That could be watercoloring, art journaling. It could be junk journaling. It could be collage. Or if you're like me, stream of consciousness journaling. You can use daily prompts, and you could also start prayer journaling too. There are so many different types of journaling out there that we can learn about and things that we can freely have access to. And so don't limit yourself to one type of journaling. Try everything that you can. Number 4 would be to make it a habit. Set aside regular time, even if just for 5 minutes a day. Start easily with just one sentence, and then 2 sentences, and then show up for your one sentence every day, and soon enough your writing will gradually increase, but you have to start the habit first. The next tip, number 5, is to use prompts. When you're stuck, prompts can help you guide your thoughts. You can find a plethora of different prompts on Pinterest or anywhere on the internet. You can purchase physical books of prompts, not just for journaling, but for creating daily art or collage as well. I personally enjoy printing out beautiful photos that inspire me from Pinterest, and then when I paste them into my journal, they also inspire my ink color choices, and I just find myself writing about how the photos make me feel, which then leads to other things to write about. And number 6 is don't aim for perfection. Messy handwriting and spelling mistakes are all fine. And don't be afraid to scribble out words or scribble in general. You don't need to share your journal pages on social media. Your journal pages are tools just for you. And number 7 would be to reflect on your past entries, because looking back over pages and filled journals over the years can help you track growth and uncover certain patterns that may be helpful or harmful to your mental health that you may have missed. Find your favorite tools. This is number 8. Discover which notebooks and pens bring you joy, because when you love your tools, you use them more often. Choosing quality products is also a way to show that you care for yourself, because your personal growth is worth every penny that you invest into your journaling. Now, don't go overboard, of course. Start slow and find what works for you and what you enjoy, and then build from there. Incorporate creativity is number 9. That's doodles and stickers, washi, markers, paints, colorful inks, hand lettering, collage, printed photos, and so many different types of ephemera can make your journaling more engaging. And when you're engaged, you're writing. But also remember that you don't have to use these things. You don't have to use stickers and washi and ephemera and little doodles in the corners of pages. You don't have to print out photos to put in your journal. You don't have to use washi tape or any of that. Your journal is your journal. You do what makes you happy and what makes you want to use your journal. The last tip, and what I feel is the most important, is to be patient with yourself. Journaling is all about the journey. It's not the destination. So growth and self-awareness and healing come with reflection and time. It's not about how many awesome journals you fill up within a certain time span. It's not about how many journal covers you have or what special journals you use. Everything to make your journaling journey yours and work for you comes from what you put inside on those pages. That is the most important tip I can give you, is it's all about the contents of each one of your journals. Once again, I want to thank you so much for joining me for this video. If you enjoyed what you've seen and you would like to see more videos like this in the future, please give me a thumbs up, and I would love it if you would subscribe to follow me on this wonderful journey and that I would love to share with you. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you have learned something. I hope you've taken something away from this video, and good luck to you on your journaling journey. Take care.